It's very nice to be back here and talking to you again, Farhan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So today we have kind of a casual conversation about your new book. By the grace of Allah, this is your fourth new book. Is that right? Yeah,
Yeah,
fourth
yeah.
book. Um, and that's quite an accomplishment. So yeah, I guess I would extend my congratulations to you and being able to do this. It's not an easy task to write a book at all. So I guess wanted to just start off. Maybe you can give a introduction to what this book is, what this book is about, and we can kind of start our conversation from that point.
Yes, first of all, pleasure to have you again. The Conviction Project saw some ups and downs in the COVID pandemic. You got busy, I got busy with some new projects, especially my live streams. And as of right now, I've actually done a live stream a few minutes, I finished it a few minutes before doing this. So it's got really, really busy. And of course, our viewers, or rather our listeners, have heard some of those recordings of my live streams as well, so a few ups and downs, but we are kind of back, and we have had Shahrukh join our team, we will continue, and but just so you know, it's exciting to have this episode because I've been numbering the episodes, and this is the 100th episode.
Wow.
So it's real pleasure because
Mhm.
um, in there was a break, as you know,
Yeah.
and this is nice, and we will inshallah continue.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
despite our busy schedules, we will continue to come up with topics. I had a
Mhm.
chance in the last episode to talk about Nicholas Evans' book as well, and it's nice. So um, now coming to my book, Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, the title of the book is "The Myth of the Divinity of Jesus Christ,"
Mhm.
and it's given by Huzur. Interestingly, the topic that I sent was the case against the divinity of Jesus Christ, because
Mhm.
I saw a lot of these books by a famous Christian apologist. His name is Lee Strobel. He's written a lot of books. He's not actually a pastor or a
Mhm.
theologian, so to speak, but he's written a lot of books. And a
Mhm.
lot of his books that say the case for this, the case for this, the case for this.
Mhm.
And there's one book, The Case for Christ. So I wanted
Yeah.
to kind of counter that, and
Mhm.
but Azur actually gave me a better title, and
Mhm.
it's amazing, The Myth of the Divinity of Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
And it published just a couple of months ago in August, and the paperback was out, and mostly internal. But
Mhm.
as of this podcast, I'm happy to say that it is available on Amazon,
Mhm.
and primarily in Canada for the paperback. For the paperback,
Yeah.
you can go to Amazon.ca and find it, but the Kindle version is now also out, and you can find it anywhere, right? Wherever
Mhm.
Amazon is, you can find it on their
Yeah.
Kindle store.
Right.
So that's the book I had the pleasure of writing and
Mhm.
publishing this year. Yeah.
So, how did this project kind of start for you? I know that you mentioned that you read this other author who had a kind of similar idea, the case for Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And is this in some way a rebuttal to some of his ideas, or a counterclaim to his ideas? How did this
No,
project
no,
start?
not just his ideas. It's actually this project started a long time ago for me because I have been in in the field, so to speak, as a missionary for 10 years. Right, I'm a graduate of the Ahmadi Institute of Islamic Studies from 2010. So it's 2020, and it's been 10 years by the grace of Allah. So over the years, I had a chance to meet a lot of Christians, and naturally speaking, we are a missionary community, and we reach out to others, and we do a lot of preaching work. And when we preach, here in Canada at least, when we preach, we are basically um, you know, going to meet Christians or atheists, right?
Mhm.
Nine
Yeah.
times out of 10, we're meeting a Christian or an
Mhm.
atheist.
Mhm.
There is an odd chance where we might come across a Hindu or a Sikh or someone, you know, like that, but someone from one of the minority communities. But it's mostly Christians or atheists,
Mhm.
and I have had a chance to interact with a lot of Christians, right?
Mhm.
Even more than atheists.
Mhm.
And over the years, I developed my understanding of Christianity through those conversations, even with some pastors over many
Mhm.
years, really. And I met with Christian evangelical
Mhm.
preachers and had debates with them, long discussions over a bookstall or,
Mhm.
you know, just having coffee or whatnot. So the book is a culmination of all that. And of course, I do quote Lee Strobel a little bit.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so he's part of it, but it's not like a response to him or anything like that. It's just
Mhm.
a broad assessment of the of one aspect of Christian theology, which is the divinity of Jesus Christ.
Mhm. So this is also kind of a compilation of your experiences with different pastors and different people from the Christian faith. What else is new about this book?
Yeah, it's an important question, right? I mean, we are whenever someone writes a book, there's so many books out there, and
Of course,
you know,
especially on Christianity, there's a bunch of books on
yeah,
Christianity.
yeah. The number of books about Jesus Christ that have been written out there are just phenomenal, right? In the
Mhm.
West, in the English language, we have a
Mhm.
ton of books on Jesus Christ. So what's so different about this book? Well, I would say that one of the things that makes this book unique is the fact that it gives the Islamic perspective on a very specific Christian topic, Christian theology topic. Um, I'm not talking about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. I'm not talking about Christian thought and history. I'm not talking about those things. It's not a broad coverage of different topics. It's very
Mhm.
specific to the divinity of Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. Was
Mhm.
Jesus Christ the literal Son of God? Was he divine? Um, did he have two natures, one divine and one human?
Mhm.
Those are the kinds of questions that I'm tackling from an Islamic perspective, and
Mhm.
that's something I feel that it's rare if it's even out there in the English language.
Mhm.
There are books in maybe Urdu or Arabic which might have tackled this in the Muslim
Mhm.
countries, but in the English language, I would say not a lot of books that take this approach, which is
Mhm.
specific, which is to the point, and also from an Ahmadiyya perspective, you know, Ahmadis might be wondering what is so unique about this book and what's so different. Why can't I just pick a book of the Promised Messiah and just read that, right? There
Yeah,
are some
or
English.
Christianity, Facts or Fiction is a
Right,
popular read
right.
for Christianity. Yeah.
Yeah, Christianity: A Journey from Facts to Fiction. There is
Mhm.
Fountain of Christianity, translation of a book of the Promised Messiah. There's Jesus in India.
Mhm.
Those
Mhm.
books. Um, First of all, Jesus in India is actually more a historical analysis of how Jesus survived the cross and ended up in Kashmir. So it's a totally different take. I'm not talking about that topic at all. Christianity: A Journey from Facts to Fiction is a scientific approach, scientific study of the concept of the Trinity and atonement, and
Mhm.
you know, those kind of concepts. I'm not talking about those either.
Mhm.
Um, what I'm talking about is the divinity. And what I did from an Ahmadiyya perspective is that, number one, this book is in English, and we
Mhm.
don't yet have a lot of books discussing Christianity in English, either in
Mhm.
translation or independently written.
Right.
Secondly, what I did is uh, I tried to provide an overview of all the arguments that the
Mhm.
promised Messiah, peace be upon him, has used to refute the concept of the divinity of Jesus Christ. That's what I've done. I have provided an overview.
Mhm.
So instead of an argument just from one of his books or two of his books or three of his books, this is an overview of all of his books, Wherever
Mhm.
he has made a discussion of the divinity of Jesus Christ, what kind of arguments he has used. And I would like to say that most of those arguments are at one point or another mentioned in my book.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
this is based, and this any discussion of my book would be incomplete if I don't mention a thesis written by Ataul Mujib Rashid Sahib, who wrote a thesis where he numbered the arguments that the promised Messiah Islam gave on the divinity of Jesus Christ and other topics as well, but I'm focused on divinity of Jesus Christ. And I think he numbered 22 or 23 arguments in
Mhm.
refutation of the divinity of
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. He compiled all of them, all the quotations and everything. So driven out of that is this book in English, because again, Atal Mujib Rashid Sahib wrote that in Urdu.
Mhm.
And I have done some research and added a few arguments.
Mhm.
It's supportive arguments in some
Or
cases.
mhm.
And those who get a chance to read it, I guess they will be able
Yeah.
to find those. Yeah.
So I guess kind of a final question that just kind of came up to me is, why should someone concern themselves with the Islamic or the Ahmadiyya point of view when it comes to the divinity of Jesus Christ? I mean, like someone just kind of listening to our podcast or just kind of picking up this book or, browsing through um, kind of on Amazon and saying, oh, look, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat has written a book about the divinity of Jesus Christ. Why should I pay attention to the promised Messiah's perspective on the divinity of Jesus Christ? Why does that matter?
Well, first of all, I wanted to just do a quick promo that if there are any Christians who are listening to this podcast and they would like a copy for free, I will respond to the first 10 requests, and I will send you a free copy because I want you to read it. I'm not here. By the way, I'm not making any money off of this because this is published by the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, and my community takes care of all the expenses and everything. So I'm not in it for any kind of personal gain. It's written totally to discuss my faith. Now, coming to your question about why should they be concerned about this, it's because I feel that the Islamic perspective gives the best explanation for who Jesus was, even in light of biblical sources, even in light of the biblical data that we have in front of us. The Islamic perspective gives us the best conclusion that we can make about Jesus Christ. And why that is, you'll have to read the book for it. But I quote the Bible extensively. This is not a book that is going to quote from the Quran and tell you this is what the Quran says about Jesus, accept him.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah, that's
this is the
important.
book that is going to quote from the Bible. I'll give you just one example. One of the core arguments of this book is that Jesus himself never said, I am God. 3-word sentence. Not even once do we find him saying that in any of the Gospels where he has been quoted at any point. So this is just one argument, and
Mm-hmm.
it makes you think that it's so important for Christian beliefs, for the Christian theology. It is so important to believe in Jesus as God the Son, God the Son, and not even once did Jesus say, "I am God the Son." Not even once.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's going on here, and what's the explanation? So Islam provides an explanation that I think, even if you don't end up accepting it, it's lucid, it's powerful, and you should, even just for curiosity, you
Yeah,
should be wondering what that is, and check it out, right?
yeah.
um,
I think that's definitely kind of prompted curiosity into this because it sounds like what you're saying is that this is an Ahmadi Muslim's reading of the Bible, of Ahmadi Muslims' kind of experience of Christians and Christianity, and kind of drawing a bridge between Christian theology and Islamic theology, and presenting, what is kind of your perspective or the Muslim Jamaat's perspective on what um, the divinity of Jesus Christ is in lieu of the Bible and various Christian sources.
Yes, yes, most definitely. And I just want to repeat that the book is available in paperback and Kindle, and the Kindle copy is actually pretty cheap. So if you're in the United States, it's just $3.69, I believe. And if you're in Canada, it's $4.80 something cents. So it's very, very cheap to get it. And, even if you don't end up, taking it seriously, but, just out of your curiosity, I do recommend that you get a Kindle copy. And the first 10 people who reach out to me through the Conviction Project at gmail.com, I will arrange to have a paperback sent to you free of charge. So that's it. I mean, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have kind of more questions after reading this book, or more questions about Christianity and the interplay between Christianity and why two Muslims are talking about Christianity and the divinity of Jesus Christ, feel free to send us an email at theconvictionproject@gmail.com, or even visit our website at www.theconvictionproject.com. That has all of our previous episodes, even episodes I think we've talked about Christianity before. And I'm sure if you use the search engine, you'll find the relevant podcasts to that. So this is the Conviction Project, where we leave you with no doubts about Islam.